Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here with Klazard again, giving you game 2 of the MSL Finals. Flash versus Jaedong. The Titans clashing for another round. MSL Finals last season, Jaedong took it. Flash won up in this series for this MSL Finals. Wow, and it has been, I think, even though it was a shortish game, I would say an epic game nonetheless. Just some craziness. Jaedong almost running away with a huge economy. Flash going for a 14cc build and proving that he can hold off early lings in the right situation, like he didn't in Game 5 against Effort in the OSL Finals. So here we have him actually pulling it off against Jaedong in the MSL Finals. And some absolute craziness going on. Some timing attacks, drops, Nidus Canals, Ultralists, Defilers, Plagues. Everything going on in a relatively short amount of time. So absolutely insane game 1. Hopefully we're going to see some good action in game 2 as well on Odd Eye 2, which, by the way, is the map that last season the power went out. These two guys were playing the MSL Finals. The power went out on Odd Eye last season. So hopefully the MSL has gotten their act together and installed some stirred strips or something, and we won't see the same thing happening again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was crazy. But I think the balance, the consensus of opinion in general, looks like we're just starting up here now, 5-4-3 something. But it looks like the consensus of opinion was that Jaedong was well ahead in that situation and probably deserved the victory. Though I think it's fair to say that should have never happened. It should never have come to that. Looks like we're going to be having cross map positions on Odd Eye 2. We've got Flash at the top left in Teal at the 11 o'clock and Jaedong at 5. And what looked like orange at the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We're going to check his color in a second. Yep, looks like orange. But I've got to say, any jitters that Flash might have had, any leftover nerves, any failing confidence after being in such a strong position, being 2-0 up, and Effort looking like he was having to make all the effort and getting nowhere in the OSL and still losing out. I think Flash has proven that he's here to play, he's here to win, he's here to fight, and Jaedong's going to have a battle on his hands, and Flash really wants this MSL crown. And let's hope he can give Jaedong a good contest and that this goes to the wire and we get the epic finals that we deserve between these two great players.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting map as well for TVZ. You've got your ramp down to a natural expansion, and then one of the fun things about this map is in the bottom left corner and the top right corner, there's expansion bases with 2 gas mines. So particularly in this matchup, if Jaedong gets a hold of one of those expansions and is able to hold it, then he'll be able to run away with 4 gas off just 3 bases, which a lot of Zergs try and do early on. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens later on in the game. It looks like Flash is actually going to try the same build, setting up his supply depot as expansion. He used to 1-rack into Command Center all the time because he could hold off early pressure. I guess now he's betting on a 12 hatch and he's going to get his 12 hatch as well. So we could see Flash pulling off the same thing, getting an econ advantage early against Jaedong in game 2 as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's sending his SCV to scout cross map. Is this? I'm pretty sure this isn't a 2-player map.
No,
so
it's a 2-player
pretty
map.
Gosu scouting by. Oh, it is. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, I confused there. I thought it was. Never mind. Okay, I was thinking of something else. Anyway, so he sent that SCV scout out to spot Jaedong, and he's going to see exactly what Jaedong's up to, and he is indeed going to 14cc as you correctly predicted. And Jaedong still hasn't. It looks like Jaedong might be going for a 3rd hatchery here potentially. He still hasn't even taken his extractor or something. Looks like he's just blocking drone off at the ramp. But Jaedong, yeah, it looks like Jaedong is going to go for a 3 hatchery build. So Jaedong not happy to let Flash get the economic advantage and run away with it. He wants to try. Of course, I think the 14cc build was kind of invented. Well, not necessarily invented, but what was a great counter to the triple hatch Zerg strategy to allow the Terran to keep pace in terms of the economy to the Zerg's triple hatch, which of course Savior made very famous. So this should be kind of an interesting, almost classic style of StarCraft battle between these two players.
And it's interesting, we see Flash almost faking a bunker here. He's kind of sitting his SCV right in the right position for a bunker, even though he doesn't have his barracks up yet. He's just getting his refinery down. So yeah, Jaedong predicting, well, actually I don't know if he's scouted it directly, but kind of knowing what was going on either way. I think he may, I honestly, I didn't see if he scouted. He may have spotted the depot there and known that Flash had gone for this 12cc or 14cc 13cc, something around there, obviously, and gone for the 3-hatch build. And yeah, so Jaedong basically not really losing anything economically at this point, because that if you compare them, they're essentially both builds are going for, you know, massive econ before any kind of attack units, and so going 3 hatch before pool is essentially the same thing. So it does mean that he's not going to be able to put any pressure on. So we're kind of seeing the reverse strategy here for Jaedong, and it's interesting because this is actually shades of their MSL finals from last season, because in that series, Flash was going 1 racks into command center almost every game, and Jaedong had countered that by going 3 hatch before pool, expecting Flash to go 1 rack CC and not have much units to attack him with. So interesting kind of reference to that past series going on here. We're going to see if Jaedong can maybe do better by trying to match economically rather than trying to pressure Flash.
Yeah, I think with Flash, he is an expansionistic player, which is why we see players 12 hatch or 12 pool a lot against him. We saw Effort also going the other way and going kind of very aggressive in the first, because Effort realized that he couldn't go toe-to-toe with Flash. He tried to go toe-to-toe with Flash and play the longer games in game 1 and 2 and got owned. And then realized that he perhaps couldn't do that and decided to go ultra aggressive. And I think most players, that's the only chance. And Flash getting that starport down again. Most players, that's the only chance they have against Flash. Whereas Jaedong, I think, is one of the probably the only player right now, Zerg player right now, that can actually compete with Flash in a macro and micro battle. He's got the multitasking skills and the macro and micro to be able to compete with Flash at that level. Most players don't. Jaedong now putting that spire down. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out between these two players. But I think Jaedong. I mean, with Flash being a player that you would guess is expansionist, I would like to see Flash just occasionally 5 racks or something crazy like that, or you know, like do crazy rushes just to throw his opponents off guard and not let them feel that he's going to basically expand every single time, either 1 racks or 14cc or 13cc, whatever you want to call it, just so that the players just to put a bit more doubt in his opponent's mind.
Yeah, and he does occasionally do that. And actually, I think one of the games that he lost against Jaedong last season was he did an 8 racks build, and Jaedong happened to pick that game to 9 pool or something along those lines. Flash now getting his comsats up, so he's going to be able to scout pretty soon here. But he knows the Spyro should be about up right now, and he's actually going for Valkyries. And we're probably going to see him also lift that racks and try and kill that Overlord, chilling above his natural expansion at some point. Spire's up. 3 hatcheries, all making Mutalisks with all 3 larvae. He's going to have his 9 Mutas out. He scouts it. He scans the right spot to see the larva. I don't know if he knew where that Spire was, but he's obviously going to expect it either way, even if he just scanned both bases. But he's going to have Valkyries out. He probably has a single... Yeah, first Valkyries out. He's going to have 2 Valkyries out by the time these Mutalisks get to his base, possibly with a third almost there. And he's going to have some M&M underneath as well, with a bunker at the front. So I think he's going to be okay with this, but... Again, Jaedong is superb at running in Mutalisks with Scourge and picking off Valkyries. It usually doesn't work against Jaedong. He's usually too good at that for it to work. So we're going to see if Flash can somehow pull it off. Jaedong running in with a lot of Mutalisks, though. A full complement of 11 is going to be joining up with those 9 very, very soon. He's going to be able to get some harassment in here either way. And I don't know if he knows that these Valkyries there. Now he sees the Valkyries. He's going to fall back until he gets some Scourge going on. But some Scourge are going to come in, and then it's going to be down to Micro if Flash can defend his Valkyries from Scourge or not.
Yeah, Jaedong managed to get a couple of hits in onto Flash's SCVs already, and I think he's managed to kill a couple of SCVs. He also managed to grab a medic there. Flash trying to move out with those Marines, trying to push some pressure on Jaedong, realizing that Jaedong's relying a lot on those Mutalisks for defense, and he's hoping that the Valkyries will hold Jaedong off, and which will allow him to do a much earlier attack. So it's an interesting choice of strategy by Flash, because what he wants to do is he wants to prevent Jaedong from getting that 4th expansion down, that second expansion down, which Jaedong has put down at the 330 position. Flash trying to move out with those Medic and Marines with the support of those Valkyries. Jaedong looking to build those Mutalisks up. He's going to try and catch those Medic and Marines out on the open field of play. And a lot of jockeying for position going on for both these players here. Jaedong knows that he cannot let Flash get to that expansion because he doesn't want to be forced. He's not going to be able to get defenses up in time, and that's exactly what Flash is doing. We know how critical it is in Zerg versus Terran to not let the Zerg get that 3rd gas up and running, and that's what Flash wants to do. Flash wants to prevent Jaedong from getting that base. Jaedong's got a decent number of Lings in play as well here, though. That does help him. He's got a lot of Scourges as well. If he can try and snipe those Valkyries, he might be in a very good position here. This is going to be the big battle here. Jaedong coming in. One of the Valkyries gets sick. 2 of the Valkyries get taken out, but Flash manages to kill all the Zerglings in a lot of the Zerglings in the process. I think Jaedong still has a few Zerglings left. Flash's got more reinforcements coming in as well. Jaedong needs to take that last Valkyrie out so that his Mutalisks can be effective against those Marines along with the Lings. This is going to get very close. Flash's got another Valkyrie out in support as well. Jaedong's just about to get that hatch. You have Flash firing away. I think Flash might just about be able to kill this. Jaedong managed to snipe He still hasn't managed to snipe the Valkyries, and Flash is tearing through Jaedong's forces now. Jaedong has got lurkers coming into play. Is he going to be able to save the hatchery? I don't think he is. I think even if he gets the lurkers down, Flash with a scan, the first lurker goes down, the second lurker goes down as well, and Flash is going to kill this hatchery, and Flash is going to take a massive lead in game 2. That hatchery is being killed. Brilliant strategy by Flash, brilliant play. Jaedong saw it coming once he saw them, and Jaedong GG's. Jaedong GG's.
Wow.
Brilliant by Flash. Absolutely dominating.
Wow.
Great play.
And Jaedong is frowning. He knows that, wow, that was absolutely amazing. Flash going in, and that came down to just a moment there. I think he sacrificed the Lings to try and pick off those Valkyries, and he didn't quite clone perfectly, and I think some of the Scourge may have died, so he didn't kill all the Valkyries. And like you said, that's all he needed. He had one extra Valkyrie coming in to reinforce. That's all he needed to keep the Mulists back. He couldn't mutiling the Marines, and the Marines got in there and killed off the hatchery. So Flash takes game 2. Let's see what happens in game 3. Are we going to see a sweep? GG.